Good evening. Thursday night show with myself, Ange, and Richard, part of Cannon Fodder's TV. And so sorry to keep you waiting. Slight technical hitch. My end, taking all the blame next. Right, good evening, Richard. How are you, my love?
Not too bad, Ange, and yourself?
Yeah, a bit of the lurgy, as I was saying, but hey, could be worse. Nothing's going to keep me from that Arsenal game Sunday.
No, that'll be fun. I'm working, so I'm hoping to be finished for the North London derby, but I'll have the women's game on audio. So
That's cool. That's cool because I'll be there. Um, well, I will surely, hopefully, have a very good view from what I can see of the seating arrangements. But I will rely on your technical knowledge, and hopefully next Thursday I can come back to you and tell you all about the experience.
yeah.
Actually, what I first wanted, I thought before we go on to the impending biggie, i.e., Arsenal women's and Chelsea's women's, the Arsenal.
Yeah, well, I thought maybe we'll catch up on the transfer business of both.
Oh yeah,
That,
yeah.
that might be a just because it's still a transfer window, and there has been a bit of business from both clubs.
Yeah, sorry, that was my next one actually. Yeah, on to the transfers. But yeah, I just quickly. Obviously, we've all seen via between Twitter, the big one, Arsenal.com, Facebook as well, Instagram, the Arsenal unveiling yesterday evening. What did you think, Richard?
Yeah, I was impressed, and it was nice to see that they've actually included former managers.
Yeah,
Arsenal women's up there, and it's actually more encompassing. And you've got the different banners of all the fan clubs around the world, which is a nice touch. And from what they've shown, it looks pretty impressive. It'll probably be better once you see up on the stadium, because once you actually see it live, it'll look a lot better, won't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when I last went was and it was a lockdown tour, and it was the worst weather day going, and yeah, it was looking very jaded, and it was time for something new, and most importantly,
and I think it's also quite a few local artists, and so it's a nice touch again, being with the community. So it's. And our own Glenwyn was the Cape Town fan club was in those banners as well. So right at the top, which was nice to see. So.
But yeah, no, that really would. No, I think that is going to look. It probably won't happen. It depends which group sites you go on, but summer's, and because we've had some quite bad weather conditions, because I'm kind of hoping that at least for this Sunday, but that's going to be very debatable. But it will be nice.
I mean, it depends on.
To be honest,
it depends on how long it takes them to put it up, but it should.
Well, exactly.
Shouldn't take them too long to put up if it's all being finalised and done. It's just a case of putting those pieces into place.
Yes, because that really will look spectacular. Actually, while we're on, have we got anyone in the chat? Sorry, because I meant to do this.
Yeah, we've got Tired as usual. Evening,
good evening,
Rich and Ange. Hi, Tired. Hope your day's gone well. English Conversation Club.
Oh, well done.
Evening all, and he says evening to us as well. And then he goes on. Colin's in. Nice to see you, Colin, as well. Hit the like and subscribe, chatty chatters.
Oh, bless. Thank you, Colin.
English says hi to Colin.
Oh, can I do a public apology to Colin?
Yeah, you can do a public apology to Colin.
men's up, but I love my FA Cup, bit the men's and women. But I thought we can't be talking about anything else on our little group chat. We just need to concentrate on the game, and we won next. So let's move on swiftly. But I didn't mean to chastise anyone. Just like to say, I do. I love my.
I'm sure Colin liked being chastised by you, Ange.
I'm not blonde. I'm not young and blonde, but that's another story.
Just saying hi and general chit chat, but it's nice. And Colin saying hi to Tired and asking him how it's going. So yeah, so all the usual suspects in there, which is nice to see.
That's lovely. Very good. Very good. Right. Okay. We've basically done the unveiling. What's going to be interesting, because I haven't trolled them. I don't know if you've observed anything, because I haven't really seen anything. Have Chelsea made any new signings, as in the women's?
Right. They've got rid of. Who was it? They got rid of Bethany England to Tottenham. Yeah. They've extended quite a few players' contracts.
Okay.
Melanie Leupolz, which is a 28 German international. Right. Sophie Ingle. Charlotte Wardlow has been recalled from Liverpool.
Okay, so excuse me.
So they're the players. For us, it's Jordan Nobbs left.
Yeah.
We've got Victoria Pelova from Ajax 23. She midfielder. So Catherine Cole from FC Nordsjælland 19. She's come in, another midfield player, and we've recalled Gia Quiros, also 19. She's a winger and was on loan at Everton, but we recalled obviously with Beth Mead and Mia Dean were out. We an extra forward body. So.
Okay. Sorry, I'll tell you what I found interesting, because I actually looked on Arsenal.com today. Now, Victoria is shown in for the Arsenal ladies team as a midfielder. They haven't mentioned Catherine, so I'm wondering if she's not going to be going into the first team straight away. It was just Gio, they've still got her down as on loan, but we know for a fact she's come back.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep an eye on that. To see how they change that. That I just found that a bit interesting. Obviously, we get Victoria because she's got more experience. She's that little bit more mature.
Yeah. But they believe Catherine Cole is a bright talent. So she'll probably go in onto the bench and you just be bedded in slowly.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And another one that keeps reading, I really wouldn't want to see her go, but I'll understand otherwise, is Mana. I can't pronounce her surname, sorry.
Mana Iwabuchi.
Yeah.
She. I don't think we'll get rid of her because we need bodies.
I hope not. And she does seem very happy at the Arsenal.
Yeah. A decent squad player and always puts a good shift in when I've seen her. So so at the moment Chelsea are sitting top of the table.
7 points. Yeah,
they've 27 points, goal difference of 23, and they played one more game than us, having played 10 games.
Yeah, so we got that game in hand.
Yeah.
So.
We're 3 behind on the goal difference. So, but we'll beat them tomorrow. Beat them Sunday.
Yeah.
And the points is the same, but we still have that game in hand.
Yeah. And just for myself, because I'm actually going to the match. I'm going to say we're at the Emirates. We've got. All right. I know it's a great loss with Viv and Beth, but equally we've got other fantastic players. We're
Yeah, I mean,
they've got to put something out there. They really have.
yeah, I mean, last look, they sold 40,000 tickets, so
Yeah,
and I mean, Chelsea have got a few players to the watch. Sam Kerr is the obvious one, along with Fran Kirby and Millie Bright and
oh,
Lauren James. I mean, that's Sam Kerr, Lauren James, and Fran Kirby are their attacking.
yeah,
So they're probably the ones you really want to. But on the other hand, we've got Ford, Manoom,
yeah,
Black Stenius, Hertig, and we've got plenty of
yeah.
attacking threat ourselves. So but I think it'll be that midfield area where it's going to be sort of won and lost. Will we have enough control there to win the game? And that would be interesting. I expect pretty much to see a strong starting lineup. You probably see Williamson and Sousa back straight in, and with Weinreuther, and then Catley on the left, and then midfield is just whatever he thinks. I'd expect to see Marnum probably start.
Yeah.
And then your front three probably before Black Stenius and Hurtig. I can't see him doing much more. And then when it's whoever you put on the bench, it'll be pretty strong, and it's a decent lineup no matter what. I am pretty confident that lineup can hold its own at home.
Yeah. It's going to be one of those. It'll be one goal, or it'll get going, and it'll be goal.
Yeah. I mean, you can't knock Sam Kerr for Chelsea. She's going to be the stop her, and I think you stop Chelsea. Then that's it. That would be be quite an interesting her and Leah and Raphael, depending which one who she decides to sort of tag herself to. That'll be quite an interesting. I think I can't remember what they beat us last season, didn't they? I can't remember if they beat us. They beat us in one of the games. I can't remember if they beat us in both matches last season.
No, because I remember that very well. I watched it on the telly. Yeah, the first game, we must have been at home. It would have been Meadow. I'm sure it wasn't the Emirates, as I recall. But yeah, and there was quite a few goals, but we got the better of them. And Jonas that's where, because I love Jonas. I probably love him more than Arteta, actually. And he's super cool. And then he was like, yes, because it was his first, it was just brilliant. But and then the other way round,
So the two games will probably almost decide that where the title's going. I think, because both teams are so strong. I don't see United, who's the other, and United and City doing enough to worry either us or Chelsea. And I think the title race will be a straight fight out between the two of us this season. So,
well, if the rest of our players can stay, it's not so much stay fit. It's getting a bit like the men's now, isn't it? There's next day it's getting ridiculous, and we know there's certain other factors for the women. But if the rest of our very strong players can keep match fit, we should.
Yeah, I mean, Beth and Viv, as you've already alluded to, the fact that their season-ending injuries, it is a shame. And Window's still young, so I'd expect a couple more in, even if that's even if it takes a bit more time. At least one more body in, I'd expect. But it's pretty good business. But the women's transfer window is pretty different to what men's football is.
Yeah.
You literally go out, pay your fee, and agree your contracts. It's not mega money, and it's quite simple. There's none of this haggling and negotiations over how you're paying the fee. It's pretty much all straightforward.
Yeah, not more simpler than the men's, where there are breakdowns of a certain person who are we going to get them, are we not next?
Media love those type of things and feed on fans. Need desires and wishes and desperations. Sometimes I don't tend to watch too much. I look at two people, Ornstein and Romano, and it's normally Ornstein because he's the main guy for us. And if he says it's if he says it's done and it's when you know it's done.
Yeah, I mean, another one I really respect, and I think he's a sweet guy, is Charles Watts. He's very sensible, and obviously he's feed from.
Yeah, I watch Charles Watts, but he doesn't tend to. He doesn't tend to do too much on the transfer. He only talks about what thing, and he doesn't, which is fine by me. But as I said, I mean, for actual transfers and if you want to know if it's true or not, Ornstein and Romano are two of the most reliable out there. And there are ones to watch out for. Anything that's citing sort of Calcamato from Italy, and there's a Carrera de Sport in Spain. Anything citing those two publications, I would take with a pinch of salt, because they just pull things out of the hat and make it up as they go along. But we know that with the media anyway. So
you've only got to go on Twitter, and actually to anyone, because I've only in the last year become quite involved on Twitter.
Oh, and early kickoff as well. Sunday isn't it?
Okay. Oh, what for the women?
For the ladies, it's an early kickoff, isn't it?
Yeah, because Steve, bless him, because he had to tell me in the end, it couldn't be that much of a surprise, but he got the tickets ages ago, and of course it was saying 2:00, and then I suddenly got a message off him. It's been changed. We've got to go out earlier, and I suddenly thought this morning to look on Arsenal, on the app, and I put it up on the women's forum on Facebook that your ticket's still valid, but due to airing it on TV, blah blah blah.
Because it's top of league clash. I'm not surprised they wanted to televise that. So.
Oh, of course, yeah. So, well, yes. A certain.
I had the same. I had the same with the Man United one, didn't? Because it was originally earlier.
Wasn't it Sunday and they changed it to Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And they changed it to like 5:30 or something, and it was like and you had 10 minutes of extra time in that match as well, which meant we didn't quite get to the train, so we had to buy other tickets back to Portsmouth, which was a bit of a pain. But they're the things to watch out for. But at 12:30, that'd be nice. You could after match take yourself down to the Tollington and watch a men's match.
Well, it is the Tollington, which would be lovely. Or we're definitely going to find somewhere we can. Then
I like the Tollington, so.
I've never been, so that would be really nice if any certain person's doing it. But I'd like.
Well, the last time I went was in the with in the uh, pre-season against Sevilla,
Oh,
and I met Paul there. So
oh, what, Paul Bray?
yeah, so
Oh, lovely.
we caught me and the daughter caught up with him at the Tollington after the Sevilla match, which was quite nice. So
Yeah, that's brilliant. So, come through.
and it's right on the route where all the players come out and head off back home. So yeah, so as you come out of the pub, you see all the fans trying to stop the cars to get their pictures and there.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. That's one.
And apparently Sinchenko frequents when he to watch a match or two.
Oh, bless. Do you know, I love that bloke. I really do. He's very quirky. And
Yeah.
he would take over Cedric for all those kind of photo bombing everything.
Yeah.
He just wants to get in there. He really is an Arsenal player, bless him. He really is.
So we've got a few more.
Have we got any more in the house?
We've got 10 on watching at the moment. So Colin saying that's what we're here for, Ange. No need for any apologies. Didn't see many Arsenal women's legends on the new artwork. There was at least two,
right?
But I saw. Let me have a see.
Yeah.
See if I.
Anita, Rachel, Leanne. There was a lady, and I don't know who she is. Sort of blondie grey hair. I didn't know. Sorry, shame on me. I didn't know who she. I think is Alex Scott on there.
I thought so.
Yeah, I'm sure I heard her name mentioned. Yeah, Alex Scott.
Yeah, I'm sure I saw her on what. But again, it's one of those. Let's see if I can pick it up.
Oh, and I can't think of her name. I should know her name. Blonde lady. England and Arsenal. God, I can't think. Her name's gone.
There's Alex Scott is in there. There's another one next to her. I couldn't see who that is. And then you've got one with a cannon. There's a few on, and there's a few there on the Invincible.
Yeah, that's it. Because you got the Invincibles either side. And I think to be fair, that was
you've got a few there. Yeah,
I really love that. I thought that was a brilliant touch to have both set of.
Yeah, you got Rachel Yankee and the salt on there. So they are there. It's you've just got to.
I'm going
to take a greater look. If you go to askblog.news, they've got each of the pieces of artwork separately, and you can click on them and then scroll in.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like Ask. Don't often.
So when Glenwyn was talking about the Cape Town ones, that's just above the Arsenal Maldives banner.
Okay.
Just right of centre at the top. It's the very top line, and then you've got Fermanagh supporters club, and you go along as well to others, and that's cool to see. So, and it looks pretty impressive. And they've got two of the more of the modern players there as well. So you got players like Iwabuchi and some of the men's players as well.
Okay.
Versus the club legends as well. So you've got a greatness flag which shows the legends of the past, men and women, and not on the other side you've got opportunity with all the newer
Oh, yeah.
stars, which is pretty cool. So again, touch to the future, touch to the past, and I believe in that one. Remember who you are, and again, there's loads of.
Because they've got one that they still haven't finished. I come across that today. And
Yeah.
it's wait for it, so I don't quite know where that's going, but yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, and on that one, it looks, which is the Marble Arches one, and who is remember it, and you've got George Graham on there, I believe, and you've got, I believe Herb Chapman's there somewhere. So
Yeah, yeah, because the one with George Graham, because he actually points, doesn't he, because he was there, wasn't it?
yeah, so it's not nice to see, and it's always good to have. But the women are represented quite well on there.
Yeah.
It's just, as I said, Arseblog News has you can actually open it up, zoom in, and you'll get a better view of who's
Okay.
on there. Otherwise, on the actual video release video, you don't get to see a great deal, but.
Yeah.
So it could be quite. It was quite misleading.
Mm.
Try. Can you talk about Women's Championship League? What are the up and coming teams to watch out for? Well, as I said, City and Man United this season will be the main challengers. Tied, but other than that, it's there isn't a lot to think. Leicester, Brighton, and Liverpool are the teams most likely to be fighting that relegation and look in trouble. Leicester is understandable. They with the issues of COVID, which have hit the owners' finances pockets. So finances for Leicester have been, even both for men's and has been really poor. So I'd expect them to, both teams, to be the ones struggling at the end of the season. Besides, you would be rolling on the floor laughing at me if you watched the game with my antics. Or I bet it did. Hang on, I'll just mute for a sec. Yeah, so all good. Thanks, Colin. Hope you're doing well. Tired, killing it. Colin, killing it, tired. About to go on a nice extended weekend down to South Virginia today. Question. Rachel Corsi said fewer resources available to women may make them more susceptible to ACL injuries. Do you agree? And what can be done if that's the case? I think ACLs are quite rife in both men's and I'd be looking at the pitches, at the studs and lengths, because a lot of them are done when trying to turn, and it's all to do with the pitches and the boots. I mean, we know what modern boots are. That's why you get broken metatarsals now. They're not designed to protect the feet or anything. And if you get the studs wrong, they can get caught in these pitches because they're not all turf anymore. They're turf and interwoven with artificial stuff. So it's a technology. You have to also look at training techniques and can you build the strength and the strengthen the legs and knees and around those areas to lessen it. And but I think you'll probably find if it continues and the numbers increase, there will somebody will do an research into it and have a look at a way of reducing those injuries and maybe looking at how you can get the surgery and recovery time quicker than it is at the moment. As I've said before, he's an American doctor, Richard somebody, I can't remember his second name, but he's the topmost specialist in on that injury, and a lot of the footballers go out to him to have the work done, because of that excellence. I mean, he's been doing it for years and years, and I know he's. I'll see if I get his full name up for you, but recovery time with him is good, but it's still a long time.
I think the biggest issue from what I'm taking away, all right, playing surfaces are going to vary, obviously, depending where you're playing. Not everywhere it's going to be like your big top stadiums, but it's got to be these boots, hasn't it, and the studs.
Yeah, a lot of it, it is.
I mean, because sorry, I didn't even know what I mean, you've explained it well to me, but yeah, to me that's got to be.
Yeah, it's the anterior cruciate ligament, and then you've got the medial as well. Dr. Richard Stedman.
Oh, right, okay, I'll keep a lookout for it.
Yeah, he's been around for quite a while. Now, he's in
I want to check up on the BBC while you guys are. Yeah, one sec.
he actually was retired from. He still oversees surgeries, but he doesn't actually perform surgeries anymore. He retired in 2014 from performing. But Texas
Okay.
is where he's based. So, but a lot of they still go to out to him, and that's. And I suppose it's whoever's taken on from him. Not that I've seen, but as it's an ACL, you're looking 6 to 9 months normally. It can, depending on the where you go for the surgery and how quickly your body recovers. It's not a great one to have, and you've just got to build up, and it's why a lot of players struggle mentally with it as well, because the recovery time and it's so long.
I mean, isn't that bad luck that the pair of them got the same injury?
Yes, yeah. Beth's happened in the United game, and then that came from sort of quite an innocuous challenge on on United's left hand, and it didn't. But she stayed down, and Red quickly realised it was a serious problem. And with Mia Demons again, it was she'd planted a foot, and there was a challenge came in, and you saw immediately that there was something serious wrong, and it's one of those that you can be very, very unlucky. I've seen skiers are another one that get it quite a lot because they especially if they come across a stump in the middle of, and they're trying to turn, and the body's going one way, they're trying to turn a knee, and it literally snaps the ligament, which is so it's one of the worst ones a sportsman can get, because you've got to think of the amount of turns and twists, and it tends to happen when you've gone and you want to move, but the bottom half, your top half turns, and your bottom half doesn't, and it tends to snap it. So
that's not nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's not nice, but it's one that I'm not sure if you can prevent it, but you might be able to reduce it. Alex is in the room.
Ah, good evening. Good evening indeed.
He's just said that Fulham are winning 1-0 at Chelsea.
Well, I was looking for something else on the BBC app. Wasn't William involved with that?
William, yeah, I believe so.
Some way, shape or form. Bless his soul. Not quite my Brazilian type player, but hey, peace, love.
Yeah, and Colin says, if I can get there, Watts is on PR payroll. He isn't.
Oh, what? Charles Watts?
Yeah, Beth Mead is looking to return for the 2023 World Cup next summer. So I'm assuming that she's looking April, May to return, which it will be quite a quick recovery if it is.
Yeah, no, that'd be good actually.
Yeah, I mean.
Excuse me.
But I mean, it will depend on what her body allows her to do. Yeah, I mean, he's an Arsenal fan, and he wants to get his foot in the door into the journalism, and so it's probably not.
He's a goal.
Yeah, but it takes a hell of a lot to get your press credentials and get your foot into that door.
Oh, they just do conferences.
Yeah, he goes to the press conferences and bits and pieces. So, but to obtain that badge and be allowed to get in and start getting those questions, it is quite old. It's who you know, sort of thing. And if you're new, it can be a bit of a struggle sometimes. Alex saying no comment. I like Colin says always comment. I like the taste of my own shoes from time to time.
All right.
So Do you know where the London Lionesses play their
Oh,
football in the Championship?
I researched this before, and I think they used to be formed as someone else. Have a quick look, Richard. Yeah. Oh, it's annoying because I've researched this before. And I remember they played Arsenal. What was that?
Prince's Park Stadium, Dartford.
That's it. Yeah.
So
They
up
were.
by the Dartford. I assume that's up by the Dartford tunnel somewhere.
But they
I'll tell you exactly where it is.
Oh god, what was the match? It was one of the cup games, and they'd done so well to get there. Maybe it was FA Cup last year. I really can't remember, and they were obviously annoyed that they got knocked out of it. But I thought, considering they were up against Arsenal, they'd done so well. They
Yeah.
really done so well.
So it's up by Dartford, just not far from Dartford Town Centre and Darrenth Valley Country Park.
Mm.
So Hawley is the
Yeah. Okay.
So
I like the name actually. I like that name.
Temple Hills as well. That sort of area. But so quite accessible and easy to get to from the look on the map.
Mm. Any reason why, Tide?
He mentioned his daughter
yeah, that's
the
right.
other day, so it might be
Oh, okay.
for that. When do the Bowleys beggars start buying wins instead of players? The abstract art of what roster work surely isn't working. Look, Bowley, he's not a football man, and he's come in, and he sat Tuchel, got Potter in because Potter looked a good manager and expected him to work miracles. It's not working, so he's gone out to buy more players just to try and get it to work for him. Unfortunately, you can't do that with that squad. You've got players from the Conte era, you've got Tuchel players, and you've got a mishmash from regimes and different managers, and it's very, very hard to build a squad and a team that can play coherently when a lot of the players play different systems and styles and aren't necessarily suited to the way Potter wants to play.
And I will call it out. I really rate Raheem as a player. He really shouldn't have gone there. Not being honest, don't matter about the likes of Auburn.
And you've got to think that at Brighton, they had a sporting director that worked with Potter, and they got players in that suited Potter's style of play, and that's why they were so successful. And they've gone out and they've recruited De Zerbi, who plays very similar to Potter, but it is more of a front foot, and he's got them going moving up a step. So you've got to give Brighton's owners great credit for the way they run the club, and how they recruit their managers and how they recruit their players. Look at the players they've lost.
Yes.
And they still where they are. So, their talent identification is top class. Their recruitment of management and coaching has been brilliant. And I'd like the you'd love owners like that. Every club would, I think. But get it right.
Oh yeah, to get it right. And sorry, I just wanted to jump in there because going back to Chelsea, this goes back to Emma Hayes, doesn't it? Because I know she obviously wanted to, because she's not ready to leave Chelsea yet, which I get. I'm not quite sure where she'll be heading, because at present, obviously, the England job ain't for grabs next.
No. But it's it may be she'll wait for that, or she might go on to something.
Maybe more.
There isn't much in the English game to go to, is there? Where else do you go? Because you're at one of the best teams in England. So unless you're going to go to maybe a foreign league and try.
No disrespect to her, I could not see her coach. She's not like Serena. I mean, I'm not, because she's an amazing manager, but Serena is something universal, and I mean, no disrespect to her. Perhaps I'll speak a second language, whatever, but I just don't see her in Serena's league in that respect.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I mean it's surprising. I mean, Arteta speaks 4 languages.
Oh, good.
At least, yeah, and so and I think to be a successful manager nowadays, you have to be multilingual.
Yeah.
Because you're talking to Spanish, French, and English are probably at least the 3.
Portuguese,
which is a form of Spanish. It's very close, so and would be easy to pick up once you.
Oh well,
Because of the amount of players, and you. And a lot of the African players speak French as well, and the sort. So you sort of got those 4. If you can speak at least those 4 languages, you're as a manager, you're set. And I think that's where Emery's failed in his stint with us was his grasp of English. Let him down, which is unfortunate because you can't knock the man's pedigree, and unfortunately the board didn't back him, and it would have been nice to see what would have happened had you had the proper backing and he got a better grasp of English.
I'm going to be very blunt here. He nearly put me off the Arsenal. I had other things going on in my life at the time. My daughter on my own, so I'm not. But my God, I saw him come in, and I appreciate he is a good manager, but he wasn't for us. That's the end. And I didn't wish him anything bad, but I was really pleased when he went.
I mean, at the end of the day, they obviously didn't think he was the man for the job, and that's a shame. He paid the price for being the man straight after Wenger. And it was and you look at what's happened at United. It's taken them several attempts to get it right after Ferguson. John Laguna, evening. Good to see the Goonerettes up on the walls of fame. Yes, it is, and it's something that shows the club's moving in the right direction with inclusivity and equality, and actually giving kudos to legends of both the men's and women's game, because let's be honest, they've both contributed to who we are.
Yes, absolutely, very much so.
And to have 2 invincible teams is pretty special. To have one is special, but to have 2,
very much so.
Thanks, Colin. I had a shower just before I came on, shower and shave, so that's why it's looking a little bit better than usual. I had to because it was raining and the trousers and the socks were soaking, and I was feeling a bit yuck. So I thought a shower would make me feel a little bit better in myself.
A haircut, that's it. All slick back.
Well, I get my wife. I've got a pair of wool razors in the front room, and either the wife or son does it. The son likes to do it because he likes to try and give me tram lines and make me look silly.
him.
Yeah, he does. Oh, sorry, Dad. I've taken the chunk out. You've got a tram line now. No, you did it purposely. But it's as long as he's happy and he's having a bit of fun, I don't care.
Yeah. Not like us women, we'd be hysterical next.
Yeah, well, I used to have it long. I used to have it in a ponytail. But, that was my. But when I left my first wife, I got it cut. So
you never had a man bun then?
no, just a nice long ponytail that went on my cowboy hat. I used to go down to the local. We got two bars. One the Blue Lagoon, and the other one was called the Ponderosa down in Petersfield. And used to go to country and western nights. I love my country western and jazz. So.
Do you like Dolly Parton?
Yeah.
Dolly. I love Dolly.
Yeah. Johnny Cash.
Yeah, Johnny's cool. Yeah.
All the old ones. The Highwaymen as well. The guy with the train whistle. Of the hobo. Well, I can't remember his name now. Boxcar Willie.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. He. More of the modern ones, Garth Brooks and that sort of.
I like Shania. Oh, Colin.
Shania Twain, yeah.
Yeah, Colin will like her. Yeah.
So yeah, so and as I said, I like all forms, but country and jazz are my first loves.
Right. Yeah, I do a bit of country. Jazz is not quite my thing. But, hey, sorry.
So jazz, I can sit in the front room and have a brandy or whiskey, and it's a nice little way to relax and chill. 40,000 tickets sold. Yeah, it's not a bad, but it's still 20,000 short, and we need to push that, get those numbers up if we want to make the Emirates a permanent home for women and make it. And it's nice to get more in and get more revenue. So I think probably what your problem is you've got the clash with the North London derby, and you're by the time you finish there and getting to the north, if you wanted to go to a North London derby, it'd be a bit of a push. So and the cost as well, I suppose. 2 matches in one day, travel, food, and then ticket prices. I mean, from the Women's Championship League.
Oh, Championship. Sorry, right, yeah.
Yeah. So
do some
again,
research.
this is I don't tend to follow the Championship League because it's Arsenal in it, but we'll have a look.
I'm really lame. I only know the ones who.
London City, Bristol, Charlton, Southampton. They're the top teams at the moment. So, and to be honest, any of those, you're probably looking at Bristol, because they're a point behind London City and they've got a game in hand. So it would be they would be your teams that you're looking at.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so to be fighting it out for that promotion, another London club in there would be quite good. You got London and Charlton there. You got Bristol, which is West Coast, or you got Southampton, South Coast. So
I personally, after watching them play, and when you can actually admire an opposition at a lower level, I'd like to see them come up personally. That'd be my personal opinion. Being a bit London biased to a degree, sort of.
Yeah, no, I mean, it never hurts to have a London teams, but yeah, you even mentioned Bristol and Charlton there, yeah, but they along with London City, which are top, and Southampton and in fourth, they're the top 4 teams in the division. So
Actually,
anyone,
brother-in-law, he's a Charlton. He was born and bred. He now lives in America, but he's a Charlton supporter. Don't know how much he does with the following the women's teams, but yeah, I'm sure he'd like that.
that Colin Young, I thought so too. Rich Haired do seem very sick recently. He's aiming for Hollywood, maybe more national, but
That's it.
but thanks for noticing.
Yeah, see, doesn't go unnoticed. Looking very dapper.
Yeah, Todd says yes, interested in taking my children to other games in the lower leagues. It's close by to North London. Yeah, it makes sense, and it also gives you the opportunity to enjoy as well, because when it's at Meadow Park, you can't. It's hard to get tickets because they're sold out, and then getting to the Emirates, it can be expensive.
Yeah.
Not the tickets into the Emirates, but
travel.
yeah. I mean, for me, it's 20 quid plus to a train ticket. Then you're the tube on top of that. Then you've got food, and then you've got. It can be quite but if you can find something local to you and that you can enjoy and allow the kids to enjoy and get into the sport, that's a brilliant idea.
And a good way to support the
the local grassroots.
Yeah, grassroots. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, it's going to take him time to settle in, and he might not make it. So, which is we'll see, won't we? I mean, he was good before he went to Atletico Madrid, and he looked a player. He, for some reason, it's not worked out for him. But
I put my faith in it. All right, we'll argue he's more up front, but that's proof in the pudding. We've got our little Fabio who can diverse here, there, and everywhere. Next, sorry.
Yeah, no, Chelsea goal 1-1.
Whatever.
Lino patty cake hand save, second save game when he was in the back of the net behind the line. Well, it happens, but we'll see how that game. Fulham have done pretty well this season.
Really well, actually. I always had a spot for Fulham because anybody who knows me, I really don't. As a club, I really don't like Chelsea as a club for their certain views. End of. But yeah, I always had a soft spot for Fulham. So
yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully we can make it a horrible weekend for Chelsea. Yeah. Fulham beat the men's and we beat the women's, and all Chelsea fans can go home crying in their teas and coffees.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Willen got a goal. Sorry, we got off track. Oh wait, oh bless him. Well, I'll never. Next, right, nothing.
Yeah. So I mean, what's our next game after?
Oh, do you know that's? I haven't even thought to look at that actually. Yeah. I'm sorry. I
don't normally go too far ahead because it gets confusing.
One game at a time, and more importantly, who are the women playing next? This guy on the Arsenal side. I think it's going to be quite an easy one. After that, I could be wrong. Well, let's have a look. Arsenal women. fixtures. Let's have a look. Come on.
Brighton, away to Brighton.
Yeah, that's it, Brighton.
We beat them 4-0 last time, didn't we?
Yeah, so
we beat them 4-0 at home. So our next three are Brighton away, Villa at home, Leeds at home.
Oh, and can I just say to anybody who's maybe not in the chat but viewing, if you're not actually going to the match, it will be on Sky Sports. The Brighton game will be on Sky Sports, and actually, because I do love a freebie, FA Player will be showing the Aston Villa game.
Mm.
Yeah,
and Felix looks very good in the second half. Well, he just needs to be in the team that suits what he does. So
well, yeah, it is what it is,
and he'll either be a success or he won't.
Yeah.
But Chelsea need all the help they can get.
Well, yeah, pretty much so. So basically, as soon as he got here, they've got him up and running, haven't they? That's for sure.
Yeah.
Desperate, but news.
Did you Flaherty enhance a women's game? Do you think? Well, yeah, you have to say yes. Do you, because otherwise, I mean, she had quite a good career, and sure, is she now 30? She must be about 31, 32. And I think any football player that does anything in the game and outside the game that as children we can look up to and aspire to be, you have to say they enhance the game. And she was part of she played for us. I think she played for Liverpool as well. Probably a couple of other teams, but I know that us and Liverpool were two of the teams. But I would like to think it will. She enhanced the game, as did Alex Scott and Rachel Yankee, and other women.
Yeah.
And if you've got to look at what all the founders of the game when women's football came back in as well. So they've all enhanced the game and they've brought it forward. They have to be respected and acknowledged. Yes, I agree, Colin. That bit of business was horrible. That you're paying, I think it's upwards of 19 million once you take his wages into account, and if he's a flop, that's a lot of money to pay out. But if he's a success, there's no option to buy. There's no obligation to buy, and all you're doing is lining Atletico's pockets, because you know another team will come in and pay 130 million plus, because I think his release clause is at least 135 million euros or something silly, and they will. Atletico Madrid were in a win-win situation with that deal. I'm glad we didn't. I know we were trying to get it down, the price down, and get an option in there, but Atletico weren't having it. Yeah, well, Wales. I don't know about Scotland. I know Wales. It's quite thought of, but I should imagine in Scotland and not Ireland, it's well taken as well. But I don't see much or have enough knowledge of those respective leagues to comment. But I believe with the Euros that the popularity of the women's game is
It's skyrocketed,
yeah.
and it really has.
Well, that's well. At least that's a memorable start, Colin. He won't be forgotten.
That is too funny. Anyway,
It might cost if it costs Chelsea a game. Many people might want to forget him, but
oh, that's too funny. Sorry, back to I mean, the Euro. That was even if we
yeah.
hadn't won it, it would have. But the fact that we won it, that was it. It was off the scale quite wonderfully. So, oh, that
Very good question. Very good question. I don't believe so, but I am not 100% sure. But then again, women's game is quite new, and there isn't that travel. And to be honest, because of the deal we did when we left European Union, that freedom of travel, especially for sports people, is still in place and still needs to be.
Can I just come in here? I've had a messenger from someone. I'm not going to take any offence to it, but they're obviously watching the show. I don't know who this person is, but obviously it must be part of the Arsenal fans forum. Get the name right. And apparently we don't do enough research. So said person, I'll come back to you.
That's fair enough.
But I would also say
I would like to know what.
Well, I'd like them to actually come on chat, and also you're very welcome to come on here and inform all of us of your knowledge. And also, I just want to look. There's a lot of things I don't understand football in general, but I am an Arsenal fanatic, and also I want to bring a fun element, and it's very much about including our very long.
No, it's nice to get feedback and that and I'll be honest, most of the research I do is around Arsenal women because that is the topic of the show, and we will do the research on the opposition we're facing.
Yeah.
So when you ask about lower league teams or different nations teams, I'm not going to know.
Yeah.
We're not going to know off the bat. But it is something we can look up and we can research it and get back to people if that's what they want. Well, we're quite happy to do that.
But
and
I'd just rather encourage people.
Yeah, I'd love them to come in and talk to us on chat, and if they know, and add to it because
well, it helps.
We're quite happy to have anyone on the that will enhance the show and
please come on board. Oh God, Colin. This is too funny. headbutt anyone like that nooning.
No, it's just apparently it was a naughty tackle. Probably studs up. Oh no, I mean, let's be fair, Colin. I'm first to admit, as I've just said, but most of my research when I prepare for the show is around Arsenal women and the opposition, and I can't, and I don't know much about anything outside that sphere, but I do go and check, and like you've seen me go to the phone to look where the London Lionesses were and bits and pieces. If if it's something I don't know, I will go and look. And if I can't find it while we're doing the show, I will come back to whoever's asked a question and get them an answer off the research I've done. But yeah, we've never admitted we've got extensive knowledge of a women's game. We follow. I followed Arsenal women for the last 10 years, and more recently in the last year and a half, I've got more involved by going to games. So it's not something that I profess to be an expert on, but
that doesn't say I'm not an expert.
But if you sort of saw me last night when the Sun had a question football quiz from school, and it was all on Germans football, so my knowledge of German football was pretty good. 9 out of 10 right, and the only reason I got the other one wrong was because the daughter read out a question, and the way she read it out was who was the top scorer in German top scorer, and I thought she said all time, and it wasn't. It was it was in the league last season, and of course it was Lewandowski. But I'd said, well, it's either Gerd Muller or Robert Lewandowski.
And you can't play the child. Don't play the child.
so she had I got the context of the question, I would have got the question right. But
no, you'd have got 10 out of 10. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because Gerd Muller was the all-time leading scorer in the Bundesliga, but it was just unfortunate. I got the context of the questions, and it's not her fault. She's got learning difficulties, so when she read it out, she the way she read it wasn't quite right. But that's not. And I mean, it's not a pub quiz, so I don't mind. And I haven't lost top spot and 50 quid, but I do love my pub quizzes. Me and my brother go quite often. Nice to make a bit of money.
And I would just like to promote, because myself and my daughter, we're dyslexics. I was undiagnosed. I'm an old lady, but my daughter got so much support.
Yeah, I suffer from dyslexia. Most of my dyslexia is in punctuation. I don't see commas. I don't see commas and full stops. Yeah. So when I read a book, so you'll see when I write on and I do apologise to Colin, and when I reply, you won't see very much punctuation in it, because I if I can't see it when I read it, knowing where it goes when I'm writing, but I did get a PhD, and I did get a university degree. But I used to send all my written work to my mum, because she was a secretary and typist. Yeah. She used to do. She sorted the punctuation out for me. She double checked. She just double checked it for me, which was nice and cheap.
Yeah, that as well. Right. So, Colin, yes, I get it, but this fella needs to know we are trying to bring the women's game up with the best.
Thank
you, Colin.
Yeah, but and I'm quite, as I said, I'm quite happy for him to come and come on there and say, look, I think you could improve the show by doing, because we want to improve the show, we want to make it better, and.
I would also say this wasn't a rude, nasty message, and this person is watched this quite, and I think they actually enjoyed the show. So we're going to take this, but I really would say, please at least come on in the chat, and if you want to be a guest, that would be brilliant.
Yeah,
I'm trying to say. Anyway, where we are.
I think it was one of those that was always going to be done, because and it sort of, if they don't extend it and she goes, it's a player they've got to replace, and they may not have been willing to do that just yet. I think both parties win in that.
Well, what is the spending power for Chelsea's women?
I don't know. It's again, the transfers and the wages in the women's game is completely different.
Yeah.
And we, as we said before, when we go on looking for women's transfer news, it's extremely hard to find anything.
Yeah.
And you have to go to somebody who knows the finances and the women's game inside out, because otherwise you're not going to find that information out. Todd, your knowledge works for me and my children. We're always learning something new. Well, thank you. That's very much appreciated, Colin. We love that, and we always love your questions. It tests us and keeps us on our toes. That's what we like.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Colin. That's very much appreciated. Love that. And Terry Wright, they are bringing in new rules this season and next that you have to have a certain amount of homegrown players to predict.
Oh, right.
Thank you, Terry. That's much appreciated. It wasn't something that we were aware of, and it does help clarify that. And it was in the men's game, but I wasn't sure I'd ever seen it mentioned in the women's arena. So it's appreciated if to have that clarification.
Yeah, we do.
Oh no, Colin, we love you having as a moderator, and it's always good. I know, as I said before, I love butting heads with you in the main group, because you keep me honest and keep me on my toes, and I love that back and forth.
It's such a passionate support.
I love your passion, and I love your honesty and your forthrightness. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's good.
It's good to have a debate, and not everybody can see, be on the same wavelength.
I always struggle when you with written communication, because it can come across so wrong sometimes, and the intention of how it was written, you can never get it. So when we chat, I have to watch the way I word things and the intent in there. Hi everyone, and by the way, I'm not the baddie you were just talking. No, they're not a baddie, Terry. They're a person who's got an opinion, and
that's fine.
Technically, they are right. Our knowledge of the women's game is limited, and our research around the women's game is limited to Arsenal and its opponents, and that's fine. But we are quite willing to take that criticism on board if it's going to help this segment of the channel grow, because that's what we want to do. We want to grow the segment. We want to inform the people who come on here about Arsenal women and the women's game in particular. And it's nice to have you come in and chat and add to the conversation. That's all good for the community and women's football in general, and that's all we want.
Can I just say, Terry, my love, how did you find us? Which platform? because where we advertise, I put it on Twitter, but I haven't got a big fan base on Twitter, thank God. But I use the Arsenal Women's Fans Forum, whatever it's called. Between myself and John Gurner, we've done the Arsenal site.
Yeah, I mean, if we can promote it for out there, we try and get it out there as much as. And when I see it, I retweet it.
Mm.
And that was Terry saying, "How are you, Terry? Glad to have you here. Yeah, I hope
great.
your day's been good."
Yeah, brilliant. Really appreciate it.
Form 2-1.
Oh, Colin's having time of his life. Actually, so am I.
Well, it's a normal thing that happens when the team goes down to 10 men.
Well, yeah.
Tired saying that, Terry. Wait, thanks for that. Good to hear women's game is going in line with the men as much as possible. Plus, we need more Euros and World Cups for a trophy cabinet.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's more likely to happen if you don't include any Spurs players in the women's team.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Next. Sorry, excuse me.
I'm subbed to Cannon Fodder, but was just looking for a found it. Oh, thank you, Colin. Thank you, Terry. That's brilliant. It's a lot nice. And yeah, I mean, there are several segments to the channel anyway. This is every Thursday. It's all about Arsenal women, and we try and include women's game in general if we can. As we said, we're not so knowledgeable about women's game in wider basis, but most things Arsenal, between the two of us, we know, and we do our research on the games and the players beforehand. And I'm glad you dropped in and chatted. It's nice.
Hope to see you again, Terry. Truly appreciate it.
We love it. This is one of the best parts of the show when we're going through go through the comments and get to reply to people. It makes part of the show so much more enjoyable than just rolling off facts.
Yeah, and you want that two-way
interaction. Yeah,
and informative.
And we're always looking. We're always looking to get people on and contribute on. So we have guests on there all the time. If you ever want to come on, just drop me or Angela line. We're on Twitter. I'm Gunnar Ritchie 1971. Angela do hers. She's on Facebook, the fans forum, easy to find, or even drop a line down here and in the comments after the show's finished, and we'll get back to you and we'll find a way if you fancy coming on and
brilliant
talking Arsenal win. Mount gets a yellow.
And we do dip a bit into the men's as well. Colin really good.
It'd be quite interesting to see Colin commentate on the match. Maybe him and Ralph could do a watch along together. that would be cool.
I miss Ralph's. I love Ralph's.
Yeah, I love Ralph's watch alongs. I never normally get nervous about many games, but as soon as I start watching him, I get nervous. I'm thinking I'm watching this, and
we know why, because we have that time delay, and that's probably one of the bit. And it's like, oh my god, he's scored what? Yeah.
But his segment is brilliant.
Right, sorry, what's Colin saying, my love? The more
relevant sport to a women's game, more knowledgeable we all be. But we'll get there because it's a great product. Yes, it is a great product, and I think the Euros highlighted that.
Oh yeah, plus having the up and coming world.
And then you've got big fan of the women's game, where Arsenal anyway, and there's not much out there at the moment. Yeah, we when we've discussed transfers, business, and a lot of stuff, it's not well publicised in the
No.
media. The media coverage is poor at best, and I can't see why that is, because the product is so good. I mean, if you want anything on Arsenal men's, you know where to go. You've got plenty, and as I said, Arsenal Boys Academy. I know.
Yeah.
I go to George Bird, and you know where all the right information is.
Sorry, can I just say, Arsenal.com, they're at fault as well, actually, because you to a certain that they cover the boys' academy, as in 18s, under 21s. But for any of those young girls, stroke young women coming up, we know nothing about them.
No.
Yeah, nothing. I think the only one who'd be quite good, because he really does enjoy, is Andrew. I can't remember his name. Arsblog guy. He does follow a lot of what's going on in the women's stuff.
So it may be good to tap him off and get some information.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So we'll try that in the future. So bloody computers having me. Ralph would have me in the kids' time out. Yeah. One of those stairs would be enough, wouldn't it? Looks like we replaced knobs with 2 new movers. What's the scoop on them? Well, Catherine Cole's from the Danish side, Nordstrand, as I said, and she's quite exciting. And again, the Ajax, is it Pelova? Slightly older, and I'd expect her to be
established, isn't she?
I think she's more of the Knobs replacement.
Yeah.
And to go straight into the team and have more of an impact. But the Danish girl is classed as one for the future and an up and coming prospect.
So she'll
a bright future.
Under 21s and a girl we really don't know anything about. But I'll tell you the other one I want to come back to. I reckon they're going to get, because Gio come from Barcelona.
Yes, she's.
Now, if I've got my research right, I heard that basically Gio was carrying a bit like Fabio Vieira, carrying a bit of an injury. So they loaned her out, and then they've just got her back now. But because she's got, for a young woman, she's very experienced. I reckon they're going to break her quite quickly now. Could be wrong, but I think they are.
Yeah, I mean, the forward position we needed bodies in there, and it's she from what I've seen is quite tricky and skillful. So it'll be interesting to see how she gets on.
Yeah, I mean, some say she's
hopefully she'll get some minutes.
Yeah, and some say she's more forward, but then I think it's like most of them now that they can play either position, can't they? It's like anybody, they have a preference, but plus she's young, be very adaptable. So
you do need to.
Oh, fair enough, Terry. Get you, yeah.
To be fair, as long as you're talking about Arsenal, I'll watch it. It's good, bad, or ugly. Yeah. Like many Brazilians, technically very good, and if they do rate her highly. And again, she was looked as one for the future when she originally came. She got and they wanted to sort of get her bedded in and introduce her slowly. She got the injury, and then they thought they weren't going to be able to give her the necessary game time, so they loaned her out to Everton, and unfortunately we got the 2 injuries, and so she's now back, and hopefully she'll be used and utilised properly when and where needed, and we'll see a bit more of her.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watch her play, actually.
Yeah.
I'm very biased. I love Brazilian players, except Willen. Love.
Yeah, this is
go.
one of my big bugbears, Colin, in the of women's football. You go in and type Alicia Lehman into YouTube, and you'll get a load of compilations, and most of it's of her arse or her breasts or bouncing up and down, and they don't concentrate on her footballing skills or
exactly. Yeah.
And I hate it. They're sexualizing her and not praising her for what she actually. Yes, she's a woman, and yes, but she's a footballer.
Know that, but she's football. That's good.
I don't see why you need to do it. It's not. Appreciate the woman for being a footballer and a decent footballer, not for anything else.
She's not doing herself any favours by doing what she's promoting herself like that. Nobody's asked. She is promoting herself like in these TikTok whatever type video.
But yeah, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. You want that. You want it, but you don't. When it gets tipped the other way, it can then go south very quickly.
Yeah, but
been watching Pelova for a couple of years. Great signing, very skillful, fast and direct, but a little bit greedy sometimes. Great addition. Yeah, I mean that would be something that would be coached about giving like that passing to a teammate in a better position sometimes, and she's still only 23, I believe 24 later in the year, and so she's got time to improve on those things. But also, yeah, she's an exciting prospect.
She's coming to the Premier League, the women's. There's WSL. Yeah, she'll learn. If she's good, she'll learn. Yeah.
But she is the one I'm looking forward to, because I'm expecting to see her get into the first team quite quickly.
Yeah.
Right, we've been going for just over an hour and a half. I think we probably wrap it up. Well, thank you for everyone that's come visited, commented. Thank you, Colin, for the moderation again. Alex as well.
Yeah.
For the support and everyone who's come in and supported us. Yeah, I know you weren't, Colin, but it's a bugbear. It's a bugbear of mine. That if you type her name in on YouTube,
that's what you get.
She's been sexualized. They don't show there are a lot of channels out there just showing certain clips and not focusing on the skill of the player. And I think that's a great shame and disrespectful to her and women's football in general. And as I said, I think she's a brilliant player, and she, I do like to watch the actual her on the ball. So. Thanks, Colin.
Yeah.
Sorry, Terry. Got to we do sometimes run a little longer, but it depends on how much we've got and
Oh, bless
It's
you, Terry.
normally when we've got two or three previews and the match to review that
Yeah.
it lasts a little longer, and also if we have more people in the show as well with lots of comments.
Yeah.
But thank you for that.
Oh no, please visit.
We appreciate that very much.
Mm.
Yes, every Thursday, 8 p.m. It might be just after 8 if we have
Yeah,
technical issues loading up, but
yeah,
it is every Thursday, 8 p.m.
yeah,
And during the winter break, we weren't on as much, and during the summer, we won't be on as much, but we will try and get contents during the summer break. But that's something we'll look at nearer time,
yeah,
and do dedicated
yeah,
dedicated shows. We might have a look at so previous Arsenal women players and do shows on specific ones.
yeah. Part of the Arsenal women's history. Yeah,
Yeah.
Be very good.
Yeah.
No, brilliant.
Still 2-1. Catch a bit of a game. It's quite exciting. Thank you, Colin, and thank you all. Stay safe and enjoy your weekend.
Oh, thank you.
And you enjoy the Chelsea match.
Oh yes, I hope so. Really hope so. I was a kiss of death last time. We shall see. No, please.
Right.
Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you and good night.
Good night.